The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome into a Roll Call Friday edition of the Bostonian versus the Book. Of the intro combinations that we start the show with periodically, we have like 5 now. That's my most entertaining and favorite back to back.
Not even close.
With the movie intro into the fire up final countdown into our intro. It's a lot of fun to start the show that way. He is Dave Sharapan. I am Matt Perrault. Not one, but 2 guests coming at you here momentarily. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. The same on Twitter X, replayed on Sports Grid Television and Sirius XM channel 159. Happy RCF, Dave. How are you on this Friday? Let's talk some ponies today, huh?
Yeah, we got horse stuff. We got the Belmont. We got hockey, Stanley Cup Final, Game 2. We'll recap Game 1 of that ridiculous fourth quarter of the NBA. I mean, we got a lot of Indiana people. Pacers are feeling themselves. Halliburton, big shot, crazy stuff. I broke out the Steelers stuff just so we could talk about Aaron Rodgers a little bit. We talked about it yesterday, breaking news. Nothing moved in the book, just for the record. Like, no numbers really moved.
Would you have moved it?
No, not at all. No,
Okay.
I don't know. The word is they're getting another guy, so another wide receiver, apparently. We don't know who it is, but it'll probably be one of his boys to come and help make the offense go, which is what they needed. It's an upgrade from Russell Wilson, yes. Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs. So temper that talk. We got 2 guests lined up. This is going to be great. A great
your
show
team,
today.
I mean, your team's not tempering it, by the way, though. I mean, they're out there pushing his. I mean, this is the official Steelers account. Okay, this is the official Steelers account talking about all the accolades that Aaron Rodgers has. So it's not just you might say, "Hey, we're not moving any numbers," but your team's trying to at least sell hope, saying, "Hey, we got a quarterback."
This is true. I mean, the hype video was unbelievable. It was the least kept secret maybe in sports, right? Like, it was happening and then it wasn't happening, but it really was happening. And then they stopped talking about it. So the numbers, no, Roger, I'm saying the books think it's going to be the same as Mason Rudolph. The numbers were kind of done with this Rodgers being in mind, with Aaron Rodgers actually coming. So, it's a good Friday. It's a good Friday to be here. Again, you guys that are here, thank you. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on the Twitter at Boston versus the Book is the show account. Ideally, we got to get that thing up to 6,000 at some point, number of followers apparently. But we're very engaged on there. Can't thank you guys enough. And in 75 minutes or so, we'll be doing Roll Call Friday, where we'll ask you for a 3-digit area code to shout out where you're watching the show from, where you're going to be this weekend, whatever you're doing. Put a message up there and we'll recognize you guys because you guys make this show go.
Amen. Like guys like Mikey. Sorry, dude. That sucks. Saying, I need this today, boys. My car broke down on the way to the work to the point my exhaust was billowing white smoke like we had another new pope.
Oh, baby.
Sorry, boy. That sucks. But thank you for being here. Hopefully give you smiles and hopefully cheer you up today, because that's
right.
Car trouble's the worst. It's absolutely
those surprises with that white smoke is usually 4 figures.
Ooh, yeah.
Immediately.
Black smoke's bad too, because black smoke means you're burning something, so that can be bad too. Rings and oil and not great on that. One quick thing at the top, and I'm not saying we have that many people who are still alive who did serve on D-Day, but the 81st anniversary of D-Day is today. And last year, there were a couple of thousand that they said were still alive that served. But I mean, to be 101 years old means you were 20 years old when you stormed that beach in Normandy. And that thing went down. They dropped down that entry, and you stormed a beach and not knowing what hell you were going to walk into. And it changed the course of human history, and it changed the course of our country and a lot of other countries in America or in the world. And so just from us to any veteran out there, but anybody who happened to be tied, whose grandparent, who may have served. My grandfather was in World War II. He was not at Normandy, but he served during World War II. From us to you guys, thank you. And today is a special day for you guys, and a special day for Americans to kind of take a second to remember what happened on that day.
Without a doubt. And like, I mean, Pap still with us here, and he's at the house, and, everything military-wise, because he served later, but we hear about or talk about. So good deal to recognize right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was 100. You were 101 if you were 20 years old.
Yeah.
That long ago.
Yeah. So there's not many of them kicking around left on that, but the movies that have been done to showcase what that was like for those young men during that war, during that battle.
Yeah.
Don't know how the hell they did it. Huge props to anybody that is associated with that on that situation for that. Just an amazing, wild moment in U.S. history. 81 years ago today for the storming of Normandy for D-Day. Let's talk about those Pacers, because what a wild game. Another shot that's going to be talked about forever as the Pacers make NBA history with a ridiculous come-from-behind win in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. There was so much groupthink going on, Dave, and we talked about it yesterday, about the number of people that were saying this was going to be, me included, over in 5. Jay-Z put $1 million down at Fanatics for the exacta. 4 games to 1, a 5-game final. This thing's not going 5 games, Dave. This is going to be an absolute battle now. What a win for the Pacers.
And when you look at the numbers and look at the result, they don't match. Like, this is the first time that a team leading by 9 points with 3 minutes to go lost an NBA Finals game. First time. You did it last night with the tweet, "Shreds are your friends until they're not." And there was a couple other ones that were no longer your friends because they didn't come through. 26 turnovers, and the Thunder only got 11 points off of those turnovers. They had complete control of the game until they didn't. The only time that the Pacers led was with 0.3 of a second left in the game.
On the shot by Halliburton, who is beginning to stack up these accolades and stack up this postseason resume that is, it's starting to be unbelievable what this team is doing. Like, they're 5-3 this year, Dave, when they're down by 15 or more points.
It's unreal.
In the NBA playoffs. They're 5-3. Like, they have a winning record when they go down by 15 points in the final. It's like we have them right where we want them. Here are the come from behind wins. They erased a 7-point deficit in the final 35 seconds of Game 5 in the first round. In the second round, they erased a 7-point deficit in the final minute of Game 2. In the Eastern Conference Finals, they erased a 14-point deficit in the final 3 minutes of Game 1. And now in the NBA Finals, they erased a 9-point deficit in the final 3 minutes of Game 1. Like, it was 94-79. It was 94-79 with 9:42 to play in the game in the fourth.
I got the text from Kendall. She was downstairs. I was upstairs, and I was finishing up the show on Sports Grid. And I got the text that said the Pacers are cooked.
Yeah. And
then we finished the show and watched this happen in real time and went, is this really going to happen? And we kept waiting and go, oh, wait, what? And then it did.
Yeah.
Your question here, Team of Destiny? It can't not be asked. It can't not be asked. Now,
with 4 straight, like one time, okay, but 4 straight series, they've taken a game that they were not supposed to win. Like they were supposed to lose, and they come back and they win the game. And like everybody in that building was stunned. Like even when the final possession happened, like Thunder fans still felt like, okay, get the stop. We win by 1. Fine. Win the game. We didn't play well in the 4th, but we won the game. Halliburton just hits shots. He's shooting 7 of 8 in those moments in the postseason with game-winning or game-tying shots. Like, what the hell? 7 of 8? You kidding me? Like, what are we doing?
So is the narrative today more what the Pacers did or what the Thunder didn't do?
I think when you do it this consistently, I think when you do it, I mean, the price is cut in half. It went from minus 700 or 750 to $3, 350, somewhere in that range.
Right.
It's the Pacers to me. It's no longer the Knicks choked or the Cavaliers blew it. It's no longer about the opponent for me. It's now about what Indiana is doing.
Yeah.
You can't do this 4 times in a row and have it not be part of the DNA makeup of the team. This is not fluky. This is what this team does.
And I mean, from the coach down, no panic in any of it. Kept saying the first quarter bet was the best bet of the whole thing.
For
that
me.
was in complete control.
Yep.
I
was happy I dodged. I got out of the first quarter and got away from all of it. I was like, I'm good.
Right?
And then I had two props that both hit with Obi Toppin played really well. He went over, and then 10 points out of Neesmith that went under. So I went 3-0 in the game last night, and I just got to watch basically the whole second half without having to sweat and really have any real worries about the game itself, because I get just to enjoy it,
which is nice.
Yeah. And the game goes under. Like I right before the game, I tweeted it out because I was like, there's something really fishy going on here, because the group think is way too heavy. Everyone on the over, everyone laying 9.5, everyone's on 5. And I'm like, the books are going to get destroyed. Like if this comes in the way that everyone's betting it, and the books had a monster night last night. They took down everyone last night.
Well, I think, there's a lot of people that had the Pacers plus the points.
Okay.
There was a lot of that because it was high.
Yeah, 9.5.
And it was hovering around the number with 3 minutes to go. Literally, It was sitting at 9 with 3 minutes to go. There's a lot of thinking too now that you get a discounted price
on the Thunder.
OKC. Yep.
100%.
Way discounted, because the number is higher for game 2.
Yeah, they're making you pay a premium to go and lay it with the Thunder.
Right.
It's 11. It's like, what do we do? It's 11 now. Yeah, the books aren't dumb. They know what everyone's going to bet.
Yeah.
And if the Thunder lose game 2 like the Knicks did, uh-oh. Uh-oh. This narrative is playing out very similar to the Eastern Conference Finals right now. We'll see what the Thunder do in game 2. But everyone thought the Knicks were going to bounce back in game 2. Didn't happen.
Right.
Everyone thought Boston was going to bounce back against the Knicks in game 2. Didn't happen. So, yeah. We'll pause that conversation and let's go to a golf course. The Royal Canadian Open going on. How about this? Is this our first time having somebody live from a golf course?
Actually, not eating hot dogs.
Not eating hot dogs.
Yeah.
The one and only.
Unless Ian has a hot dog.
Ian McMillan from SI joining us here on the Boss Money versus the Book. What's up, dude? Are this your first time appearing on BVB?
I think it is, guys. Can you hear me all right? I'm reporting.
Yeah.
I'm reporting live from TPC Toronto here. No hot dogs though, but I am on a golf course. Yes. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you sound great. You look great. This is good. Thanks for joining us. This is awesome. How is the golf today? Before we get to the hockey talk, we saw some low numbers yesterday. You joined us, on Sports Grid, talked about Pendrith and different things. How's the golf going today, Ian?
Yeah, a lot tougher scoring conditions today, guys. Rained a little bit yesterday morning. It was kind of spitting the entire day, so never really rained enough for them to kind of stop play. But the guys who played yesterday afternoon, because the course just got wet and soft, there were some low scores yesterday afternoon. The sun's out today. It's a beautiful day today. The course is a little bit more baked out. The greens are a lot faster, and because of that, we are not seeing the scoring today that we saw yesterday. But beautiful day here. A lot of good golf still going on. Yeah.
Any value on Scotty Scheffler or staying away from the guy who's destroying the PGA Tour?
Scotty Scheffler's not this week.
He's out.
He doesn't like Canada. He's anti-Canadian.
He's out reason. Canada.
Roy McIlroy is the big favorite heading into this week. He was 2 over yesterday. I think he's playing a little bit better today, but he's got to go at least 4 under to make the cut. So I don't even think he's going to make the cut. Cameron Champ right now is the leader, guys, if you can believe that. Guy who had a little bit of a run on the tour a few years ago, and he's been kind of disappeared off the face of the earth the past couple of years. He was a last-minute replacement, actually. Just got in because someone withdrew, and then he has torn this course up through the first 2 days. He's like 12 under through the first 2 rounds. He's like a 3-stroke lead. So Cam Champ, I don't know what his odds were pre-tournament. I bet they're like 200, 300 to 1.
High.
So,
triple digits for sure. Yeah, I think it was around 125 to 150 to 1, maybe even higher, closer to 200. Yeah. So, all right, Ian, we got to talk hockey. Florida and Edmonton game 2. I don't know about you, but Florida Edmonton game 1 was awesome. No matter who you had, if you lost a bet, you had Florida, okay. If you had under, oh well. That was a really, I thought, high level, well-played hockey game. The refs pretty much stayed out of it until power play and overtime that they had to be called because everybody in the arena saw it. What do you expect as far as the level of play and the type of game tonight from these teams?
I think we are going to see more of the same, guys. When 2 teams know each other really well, and you guys know this, usually you get one of 2 results. Either both teams will play really defensively and there won't be much action, or we'll get what we saw in game 1, which is just counterattack, because both teams know each other's strengths, they know each other's weaknesses, and I think we saw that in game 1, where instead of trying to defend against each other's strength, they were trying to attack each other's weaknesses. So it was a lot more wide open. Game 1 was, and I expected it to be. I was on the under game 1. Now I'm on the over after seeing how they played in game 1. If it's wide open like that again in game 2, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be, it's going to be another fun game. It's going to be another fun series.
All right, so Ian, what's the feeling on the ground? You're walking around sports fans, obviously, in the galleries. The Cup has not been back to Canada since 1993, but Eastern Canada doesn't really like Western Canada all that much. Are Canadians pulling for the Oilers to get this done, or are they sort of like quietly cheering against Edmonton?
It's extremely divided, I think, because of the fact it hasn't been since 93, and we're hearing all you Americans bring that up all the time every single year. I think most people like myself are cheering for the Oilers. Now, I do think there are some people who, if this was an Eastern team, like I'm a Maple Leafs fan, if this was the Senators or the Montreal Canadiens, no way in hell would I be cheering for them. But Edmonton's all the way out west. We only see them twice a year in the regular season. I don't even know any Oilers fans in my personal life. So if they win, I don't need to hear, bragging from any of my friends. So I am cheering for the Oilers. We need a Canadian Cup. It's been too long. And like I said, I'm sick of hearing it hasn't been since 93. Also, all these Florida teams winning it, Vegas winning it. And not only is it American teams, it's like these southern states. It's got to come back up north.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, not just the Cup, but does Connor McDavid need to win this for his? I mean, there's people saying, "Oh, he's Connor McDavid. He's great. He's this," but he hasn't won a Cup. But and he's the overwhelming favorite to win the Conn Smythe. If Edmonton wins, he's winning it. There's no question. If they lose, he's not getting it. He did last year. You cringed. Is there someone else on Edmonton you think could actually win the Conn Smythe if he doesn't?
So I bet Draisaitl before game 1, he was 8-1. He's down to 6-1. Because he only had 1 point fewer than McDavid heading to the final. He's more the goal scorer. If he keeps scoring these game-winning goals, he could win it. Now, the narrative will be about McDavid. McDavid's obviously the most impactful player on the ice, but there is still a chance if Draisaitl especially scores these goals in key moments, he could still win the Conn Smythe.
Interesting. If Florida wins it, if they win the Cup, I know there's narratives about, okay, it's going to be to Tkachuk, but could Bobrovsky win it if he plays really well the rest of this series? Could you see him winning the Conn Smythe?
Yeah, he might win it just by default because the Panthers don't really have that one standout guy. They're a really deep team. They get scoring from almost every single line, so he might just win it by default. I would look at Sam Bennett, who is the leading scorer in the entire playoffs of all players. Doesn't have many assists, but he is kind of their main goal scorer. And I think he scored at least one in game one, right?
He scored two.
Yeah, two. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So I think if a player gets it, it might be Sam Bennett. But yeah, you're right. Bobrovsky, he will have to play well for sure. He'll have to at least have a couple wins, caused by him, but he does have an advantage in that market just because no one else on the Panthers, there's no McDavid on the Panthers, there's no Draisaitl on the Panthers. Their strength is their depth, and because of that, they don't have one standout guy who's kind of carried them this far.
Tell you what, from what I saw and what I thought before the series, I still think it's going 6 or 7. Is there anything that you saw that would indicate that this could be over in 5 or less? Like Edmonton played great, but they were down 3-1. Don't forget, that's the first time that Florida ever lost a game when they were leading by 2 goals in the playoffs here. I think it's going 6 or 7. Do you think it's going 6 or 7?
Yep, I would agree with you. If game one was any indication, it's like even if you look at the advanced metrics for game one, very close both sides. The Oilers had a little bit of an advantage during special teams, power play, and penalty kill. Panthers had a little bit of advantage on 5-on-5. Both goalies played similar. I still think, it's. I'd be shocked if it doesn't go 6 or 7. Now, of course, anything could happen. We know this, but I'd be surprised if it doesn't go 6 or 7.
And we'll go back to the Cup tonight here in just 1 second, but I have a sports fan question for you because the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau after he made the Western Conference Finals. The Stars this morning fired Peter DeBoer for making the Western Conference Finals. Are we becoming too goal-oriented or results-oriented when it comes in sports where it's not a process anymore? It's either you win or you're fired?
Yes, I think so. Because, guys, so much about sports, especially when you get that deep in the playoffs, is about variables and, for lack of a better word, luck. If they had literally a couple things go their way, the Stars are in the Stanley Cup final, the Knicks are in the NBA final. But because they didn't go their way, they're firing their head coach. I think they're getting a little too trigger happy firing these coaches. Now, the Stars guy, to be fair about DeBoer, I mean, he's been in finals, conference finals, Stanley Cup finals a lot in several different teams, and he can't get over the finish line. So at some point, because I think it's been 8 or 9 times now, at some point it's like, man, you got to be doing something wrong. So I get that a little bit more than understand the Thibodeau firing, but I'm not a big basketball guy, so maybe there's something else going on with New York. But I do think they're a little trigger happy because, like I said, 1 or 2 things go either of those teams' way, they're in the final, and the coach still has a job.
As the senior editor of SI now, and also the host of the Bacon Bets podcast, let's show off the tools in the toolbox here a little bit. I was going to ask you about the Blue Jays, but I got to ask you this instead. I'm wearing the Steelers stuff. Aaron Rodgers signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why are you laughing, Ian? Don't laugh. I didn't even ask the question yet. What is so funny about that?
Everything. Just say everything is funny about that.
Everything. There's no way Steelers. Is there any Steelers fan that's actually happy about this? Are you happy about this? Are you hopeful?
Russell Wilson was the quarterback last year. Mason Rudolph was going to be the quarterback until Aaron Rodgers showed up. Yeah. Isn't that better?
Listen, I'll say something positive. He did look a little bit better at the end of the year last year.
Right.
So maybe his Achilles wasn't fully healthy in the first half of the year. That's really the only positive thing I can say about that. He did look a little bit better late in the year.
Okay. So they're not making the playoffs. I'll give you that. But are your Blue Jays making the playoffs?
Ooh.
Blue Jays are hot. Blue Jays got to fix the rotation. They have a really good bullpen. Their offense has been really hot after a bit of a slow start to the season. The rotation has a ton of holes. Even I think today against the Twins, I think they have a bullpen game. Bowden Francis has not worked out in that rotation. They're probably going to have to acquire an arm. We'll see if Scherzer ends up coming back at some point, but I think they can make the playoffs, but they definitely need to answer some questions with that rotation if they want to do it. But the AL overall, kind of that wild card race, relatively weak this season. It's certainly gettable for the Blue Jays.
I would agree. The whole AL is weak. We got Todd Trupp from FanDuel TV coming on for the Belmont on in the next segment here. Do you dabble in the Belmont Stakes? Do you have any thoughts on tomorrow's race?
Is there a Japanese horse in the race tomorrow?
No. no Japanese.
My strategy for the Kentucky Derby every year the past 4 years is bet on the Japanese horse. I'm still waiting for that to work out for me. So if there's no Japanese horse, I'm out.
That's perfect. Yeah, you're out. That's it.
Oh,
I love it.
All right,
Japan or
Ian,
nothing for
thank
me.
you. Who wins the golf tournament?
I got to go with my fellow Canadian Taylor Pendrith. I don't know where he's on the course right now. I hope he didn't just double bogey right before I said that, but I'm going to go with my Canadian Taylor Pendrith who pulls this out for Canada.
Ian, tell the folks where they can get your stuff and follow you.
Best place is on X or Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Ian MacBets, IAIN, has a second I in there just to make my life difficult. And you can read my written work over on si.com/betting.
Thank you for the
Awesome.
time.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you
man.
coming on. Enjoy the tournament.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Is Ian McMillan joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. We go from Ian to Todd, FanDuel TV, talking about the Belmont. Todd, welcome back to BVB. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me back. You know I love your show, but I'm really honored that you leave me a spot when it's Triple Crown time.
Fantastic. Great to see you, Todd Schrupp. You look awesome. The hair's working. Everything's set. The shot looks great. What are you most excited for this Belmont? Because we get the rematch. We get the two horses we want to see, right?
Right.
But when you look at this thing, what jumps off the page for you, or to tell someone who's not interested in the Belmont, why are you interested in it?
This is one of the most exciting 3-year-old crops we've seen in quite some time. You know, it's the 10th anniversary of American Pharoah sweeping the Triple Crown. And I look at the quality. Look, American Pharoah was in a class by himself. Obviously, he swept the Triple Crown. But the horses he beat in that 3-year-old crop were not exceptional. Winning this year in this 3-year-old division is a really tough thing to do. And the two best horses right now in the 3-year-old division come back, the Derby winner and the Preakness winner. So the thing that jumps off the page at me is the quality of this 3-year-old crop and the fact that journalism, I believe, is the best 3-year-old. A lot has happened since the first Saturday of May. It's been 5 weeks since then. And it's amazing to me. And you guys see this in sports all the time, how the conversation can immediately change. The conversation from the Kentucky Derby to the Preakness was the fact that Sovereignty, the Derby winner, was skipping the Preakness. Then it led to this whole existential conversation, which we've had over the last 10 years. Should we change the spacing of the Triple Crown? And then the Preakness came along, and journalism had one of the most difficult trips I've seen in any Triple Crown race, and he found a way to win. That trip in and of itself was controversial. And now the conversation for the next 3 weeks has been, who was in the wrong? Was it Umberto Rispoli aboard journalism? Was he in a spot he shouldn't have been in? I think that's fair to say. But should he have maybe even been disqualified for the move that he made? Was Flavien Prat, who was aboard goal-oriented on the outside of him on the turn, was he at fault for what took place in the Preakness? It was as rough and tumble of a Preakness Stakes as we've probably seen, probably going back to a Fleet Alex and Scrappy T back in 2005, 20 years ago. So the conversation over the course of this Triple Crown has been amazing. But what I love outside of the possibility of a horse sweeping the Triple Crown is having the two best 3-year-old in the concluding race to the Triple Crown. So outside of having a horse having a chance to sweep the Triple Crown, we've got the next best thing. And in some ways maybe better, because you have one horse who waited the 5 weeks. You have one horse in journalism who will be the only horse that competes in all 3 races. And I look at it as maybe deciding this whole conversation we have about changing the Triple Crown and the spacing. If journalism wins tomorrow, I think that conversation dies down, and rightly so.
All right, Todd, this is an interesting handicap for anybody looking to play it. For starters, we're not at the Belmont Stakes. We are at Saratoga. So we have moved. So this is the second year because of the renovations going on at Belmont Park. We're now going to Saratoga. So we go from 1.5 miles, which is supposed to be the longest run of the crowns, to 1.25 miles. So that's different. Secondly, the field's only 8 horses. So it's not that big of a field. And thirdly, this has been a chalk race. Historically speaking, the chalk tends to win the Belmont. What happens here on Saturday because of this, as from a handicapping standpoint? Is it easier to handicap or more difficult because of all the variables?
To borrow your phrase, the chalk wins the Belmont.
Yeah.
Matt, you raise a very good point, but one departure I would have is when this was held at Belmont, it was 1.5 miles. you always had that unknown factor, the 1.5 miles. Those horses will never go most likely 1.5 miles in the rest of their career. So that unknown did actually lead to upsets. But as you pointed out, it's the second year because of the renovations at Belmont that they brought it to Saratoga, and it's now 1.25 miles. Get ready for a third year because it's going to happen in 2026. They won't be back to Belmont in 2027, but they'll be back in a big way that year. They'll have the Belmont back there, and they'll also have the Breeders' Cup that was recently announced. But I think what's happened is we don't have that unknown factor anymore. We know pretty much everybody in that field tomorrow, especially in the main contenders, can go 1.25 miles. So there isn't this 1.5 mile mystique, and then you could possibly get an upset. I think it's more formful this year, especially because we know Sovereignty can get the 1.25 miles. We know Journalism can get the 1.25 miles. We know Baeza can get the 1.25 miles, and they're the three main contenders. So I don't look for a shocking upset. And even the weather is not even something that you would factor in and say, oh, they're not going to be able to handle the off track. That was a horrible track they had to overcome at Churchill Downs as far as the amount of rain that it had. It was a safe racetrack, but it was not for everybody. And yet the best horses decided it with the top three finishers now coming back in the Belmont Stakes. So weather's not going to be a factor this year, and I don't think it's going to be a sloppy track anyway. The rain that's coming in is coming in later today. It'll dry out by 7:00 Eastern time, post time for tomorrow. So I don't see a lot in the way of anything shocking this year.
When you look at the entries, I mean, there's only 8.
Yes.
Okay. The prices, this isn't the race to be doing exotics. Like
Right.
The try ain't going to get there, but there's a lot of buzz amongst horse guys, of which I pretend to be, but I'm really not, about Rodriguez. What do you hear? What do you say about Rodriguez maybe getting in the mix and somehow getting in the 1, 2, or 3 spot?
The thought with Rodriguez is he's going to set the pace. He's trained by Bob Baffert, and he's absolutely going to lead. When he won the Wood Memorial, he took them gate to wire. He got a pretty good figure. It was a decent time for the race, but there was nothing in behind him. And I just don't see a scenario where he gets a soft pace in here. If he's going to get to the lead, he's going to really have to work for it, because there's another horse in here called Crudo who's absolutely in here to be on or near the lead. If you are in the camp of Rodriguez being a price play, you're putting your faith in Bob Baffert. And Bob Baffert, when he shipped to Saratoga, he's sent out some really good ones. One of the best one was Arrogate, and the Travers, who went off at 10-1, has been one of the best modern horses we've seen in the sport. But there's also kind of the background story to Rodriguez. He was supposed to go in the Kentucky Derby. He had a foot problem. And this is something that really wasn't talked about at the level that I think people should have. Bob Baffert made the decision to scratch Rodriguez. The reason that is significant before the Kentucky Derby is because if the trainer doesn't scratch the horse, and this horse is a veterinarian scratch, then they have to go on the vet's list for 30 days. So you're pretty much out of the Triple Crown the rest of the way. So by Bob Baffert making him a vet scratch, it left him open to coming back in the Preakness. He had to scratch again. The foot didn't come along in the Preakness. And now here we are 5 weeks later in the Belmont Stakes. So you're talking about a horse who's been off since the Wood Memorial, has been battling a foot issue. Obviously, he's not going in the race unless he's right. But with all of that up against him, are we really to believe that he's going to take the field gate to wire against a horse like Journalism, who's competed in all 3 races and has had a flawless spring? Everything has gone according to plan, and pretty much the same thing with the Derby winner Sovereignty. So for those looking at Rodriguez, they're hoping it's Bob Baffert and the fact that this horse gets a clear, easy lead. I think he gets the lead, but I think at a cost.
So Sovereignty's in the 2 slot, 7 slot for Journalism. So let's just say maybe those post positions aren't great and we're looking to punch holes. We're going to all agree chalk is most likely 2 best horses going at it, but we're looking for potential upsets. You mentioned Baeza, a horse that did not run in the Preakness, but came in 3rd in the Kentucky Derby and is the half brother of Mage, who won the Derby in 03, and Dornoch, who won the Belmont in 24. What's the thought on an upset, shock in the world, having Baeza win this tomorrow?
Well, Baeza actually showed his hand in the Santa Anita Derby, because there was a moment although everyone expected Journalism to win that race, there was a moment where it looked like Baeza was going to pull off a shocking upset. He had a pretty clear lead amid stretch, and then out of some trouble, yet again, Journalism had trouble. He came out of trouble and he ran down Baeza. Baeza, as you mentioned, comes back in the Kentucky Derby and backs up that California form by running a huge third. And look, there are, one of the aspects to handicapping, and I think it's one of the most important ones, is visually. We all have stats in every sport that we may lean towards, but sometimes there's also, I just look at a team. You look at a team like the Indiana Pacers. They're 10-point underdogs, but yet a lot of the betting public were playing them in that opening game because they saw what they saw in the Eastern Conference Finals. They don't back down. You can't quantify some things about a team or a horse unless you watch them and you understand them. It's not all about the numbers, the road team, the home team, and the rest of it, opening round of the playoffs. There's something about looking at this field and looking at Baeza, and you have to be in horse racing what we call a trip handicapper. You watch how a race plays out. You watch how the horse finishes. So if you go back to the Kentucky Derby, he didn't have the best of trips. And then after the race, he won what we call the gallop out. So he went by the leaders after the wire. Yes, the race is over at that point, but it says a lot about a horse. Baeza has a big, big ceiling, and he is the danger in this race to the top two without a doubt. And I think he and Sovereignty have been going back and forth in the odds. Journalism is the solid favorite right now, but there is the possibility Baeza ends up the second choice over the Derby winner Sovereignty. I think ultimately, by the time all the money goes in, it will be Sovereignty in the second choice, but you don't have to look far for the serious threat to the top two. It's Baeza. And as far as his trainer, John Sheriffs, he trained one of the greatest race mares of all time in Zenyatta. He's trained, obviously, a Kentucky Derby winner in Giacomo, who pulled off a huge upset at 50-1 in the Kentucky Derby. This is a guy who brings horses along slowly. This is all by design. They get better with each start. We haven't seen the best from Baeza. If he puts it together on Saturday, that will make for an interesting factor.
Todd, how do we get the buzz back for the Triple Crown? Like, how do you get horses to run? Is it not going to happen more often than not now, where they have to protect the horses because it's too quick, or can we get it back somehow? Because I think there's more buzz when you have at least someone running the Kentucky Derby winner in the Preakness. If they don't, then the Belmont becomes almost an afterthought. Now we get the matchup because they didn't. But what is the key in horse racing circles to keeping the Triple Crown thing alive, or is it done?
Well, here's the question, Dave. Our television ratings are one thing, and obviously I work in television, but I also work for a company that relies on betting. So the higher the handle, the more successful of a show we had. But when you take a look at, say, NBC, who covers the Triple Crown, they're all about the Nielsen ratings. Like, the wagering doesn't matter. The fact is, the Kentucky Derby winner did not come to the Preakness. We all recognize that. The audience dropped off by about 20 million from the Preakness, from the Kentucky Derby to the Preakness, but it was the third highest handle day in Preakness history. So they bet the third most amount of money in over 150 years in the Preakness. So the players showed up. And here's the other thing. As much as we want to talk about the audience dropping off from the Derby to the Preakness was still the #1 watched sporting event on that Saturday 2 weeks later. I'm a traditionalist. I'm at least when it comes to the Triple Crown. Do I think there are things that horse racing needs to improve upon? Obviously. And I think sports betting has shown that. Now that sports betting has swept across the country, horse racing is trying to find its place. But I do think we have a better opportunity than ever before, because now we don't have to explain betting. Like, it's one thing to explain horse racing. That there's so much minutia to horse racing. But then to have to, on top of that, explain, well, what's a pick four? Well, now you just have to say that's a 4-team parlay. Oh, I get it. Okay, so now the sports bettor gets it. We actually have a better opportunity now than ever before. But this idea that the Triple Crown needs to change because the Derby winner didn't show up this year, and it's a rarity that the Derby winner doesn't show up in the Preakness. I would rank the spacing of the Triple Crown on the list of problems for horse racing probably 117th. Like,
Okay,
just,
good.
I don't think it's holding us back. I mean, I think there's bigger things that are holding us back, and it's not the Triple Crown. So yes, this was a year would we have loved to have had the Derby winner in the Preakness? Great. But if anybody watched the Preakness who was a casual fan and saw what journalism had to overcome,
Unbelievable.
how could you not be a fan of the sport after watching the athleticism and the drama of what took place in the Preakness? So I think the sport sells itself on a daily basis. That's where the big issues are. I'm going out to Santa Anita today. It's going to be a 9-race card. It's a facility that was built for another time. It's one of the most gorgeous sporting facilities. I'm not talking about racetracks. I'm talking about, I'll take Fenway. I'll take your favorite football stadium. I'll take Chavez Ravine in the backyard, and I'll put Santa Anita right up there with them. It is one of the greatest sporting venues anywhere. It is a Friday. Tomorrow is the Belmont. There will be 9 races today at Santa Anita, and there will be a crowd of 1,700 people. That's where the problem comes in. So I think Triple Crown fine, but on a daily basis, racetracks got to get a handle on how they serve their customers and the needs. And that's the other thing. You know, look at your show. I would say before the advent of sports betting, you had a different type of listener. You had a different type of guest, and now it's more sophisticated. The sports bettor is more sophisticated than they have been ever before because of the dearth of information that is out there and the opportunities that are now readily out there with sports betting. And so horse racing has to realize they're catering to a more sophisticated audience and give them what they need.
All right, Todd. So let's build a quick long shot card because everyone loves them. This is not the race for it. I get it. But if I were to take out sovereignty in journalism from an exacta and say you cannot pick those two, what type of long shot 1-2 exacta could play out tomorrow?
I would take the 2 horses that are going to move forward. And I'm no doubt they're going to run lifetime best tomorrow. I just don't know that it's good enough. But if there is something, as you said, and it happens that the favorites don't run, I start with Baeza in the top spot. And then I look at Hill Road. Hill Road for trainer Chad Brown won the Peter Pan last time out. You were talking about the Belmont being in its traditional spot at the Belmont, at Belmont Park. The Peter Pan was always a traditional prep race at Belmont for the Belmont Stakes. Now it's the Peter Pan at Aqueduct prepping for the Belmont at Saratoga. It's bizarre. But Hill Road won last time out, and I think he's on the right trajectory. Last year, he was 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which is obviously the biggest race for 2-year-olds and kind of portends of the horses who will be big in their 3-year-old year the following year. He ran a very surprising 3rd. He has had a very deliberate, slow spring. Chad Brown did not rush him to get to the Kentucky Derby, obviously by the fact that he ended up in the Peter Pan, but he ran a big race in the Peter Pan. He's going to have to run another big race. But I would be looking for horses who are not even close to their ceiling if it's not going to be the top 2 horses, because I do think sovereignty and journalism maybe have a little bit more to give, but we've seen their best and it's really, really good. So look for those horses with the high ceiling. To me, that's Baeza, and to me, that's Hill Road.
Last one for me, sir. What does your day look like tomorrow with the Belmont being, for West Coast guys, it's right in the middle of the afternoon. I love the timing of it. It's a lot later for people back east, but what does your schedule run around like tomorrow with the Belmont?
Well, so tomorrow, I don't even have to be on until the second half of our card out here. So our card at Santa Anita starts at 1:00 tomorrow. So you have this Belmont card, which is 14 races, and there'll be a lot of time in between. I'll have to set the alarm to get up in time for the first race. It's going to be literally starting about 8:00 out here. So you're right. When we get to the heart of the card, it's fantastic. It's the afternoon out here. It's like watching NFL football and those second rounds of games,
right.
Or maybe even the early games. So my day tomorrow is going to start with the alarm going off, and I'm not an early morning person. I thank you for letting me have this at noon Pacific time today. That was perfect. I got to sleep in, took the shower. You notice I did great coiffing the hair.
Perfect.
So tomorrow's gonna be a long day, but I love it. I run on adrenaline. You know, it's equivalent of for your audience. It is like March Madness, sitting in the sports book, and starting at 10 a.m.
Right.
And then the last game goes till 10 at night. So tomorrow, that's going to be my day. Early in the morning, and then 7 o'clock Eastern time is when they go for the Belmont Stakes. So I love it. It's going to be a full day. And that's the other thing. You know, we're talking about one race. There are all kinds of great races on the undercard that impact other divisions on a national level at Saratoga tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for tomorrow. Hopefully I'll do well today at the track, because that's the thing about all us horse players. We're trying to truly pad the bankroll on Friday before we get to Saturday.
Todd, we'll get you out here on this. Everyone loves a rematch. We got one. We got the two best horses. It's a rematch of the Derby. We had a crazy run at the Preakness. We don't have nearly as many horses now here. It's a 1.25 miles. Is this race going to deliver? Are we looking at this coming down the stretch between Sovereignty and Journalism to win the Belmont?
You're going to get a race tomorrow. You are going to get a race. You know, sometimes the Belmont is a yawner because it's been a different result throughout the Triple Crown. And there's so many underlying storylines in here. The fact that Sovereignty skipped the Preakness, that's one. Umberto Rispoli has given some questionable rides, and his horse has managed to overcome it. Will he finally give this horse a clear trip, and we can see Journalism with no excuses? I do believe him and Sovereignty hook up down the stretch, but I think it's going to be different because Umberto Rispoli told me this after the Preakness when all the controversy was coming down about his ride. He goes, he needs a target. That's why he was able to come and get Gosker in the way that he did down the stretch in the Preakness. He had him in front of him. If you go back to the Kentucky Derby, he was the pursued. He hit the front at the top of the stretch. Sovereignty followed him and then outfinished him to the wire. That's not what he likes. So what I expect tomorrow is you are going to watch Junior Alvarado on Sovereignty, and you are going to see Umberto Rispoli on Journalism. They're going to be aware of where each other is, and it's going to be fascinating to see who wants to pull the trigger first. I know Umberto's going to want to try and wait, but maybe Junior Alvarado has a trap laid for him, and he's going to force him to go first. It is going to be awesome. And that's the thing about a small field. The riders can actually keep track of where everyone is in the main contenders. In a 20-horse field, you can't do that in the Kentucky Derby. So it's going to be great theater tomorrow.
Todd, great stuff. Thank you for the time. Great to see you again. Enjoy the race tomorrow. Should be a lot of fun.
Dave, Matt, you're the best. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
That is Todd Schrupp from FanDuel TV joining us here on the Bostonian versus the Book. Great to get him on the program tomorrow night. Basically, it is a night game in a lot of ways, a night race in a lot of ways. 7 p.m. post time, 6:50 post time Eastern time for tomorrow.
Yep.
Should be a lot of fun.
I think the race will live up to the billing.
I do too,
because there's only 8 horses in it. So
I do too. And only be 1.25 miles. I mean, the fact that it's not 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
I think that benefits a lot. It makes the handicapping a little easier because it's not how these horses going from 1.5 miles. That's going to be different. The thing that I've got is, with Sovereignty and with Journalism, there are a bunch of horses that we talked about, Baeza and other horses that this is their first Triple Crown race of the year. We haven't seen them run in the field against these horses. So that's the one tricky part about all this, is because we have horses that will be in this race that might be fresher and might have more in the tank than the 2 horses that are going to be at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah. Again, should be fun. We got a rematch in the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
We got a rematch in the Belmont. We got a couple days off from basketball, to let this mull over, and how they're not playing.
It's the NBA
until
Finals.
Sunday is just
joke.
Unreal with the same city.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
makes no sense.
Take an extra day. So tomorrow's about the races, the horse race here and in baseball tomorrow.
These were the odds at FanDuel this morning for the race. Now, these are obviously will change a little bit, but Sovereignty at 7-2, Journalism coming in there at 9-5, Baeza there at 3-1. Crudo is getting a lot of love because of Bobby Flay. That's his horse. So the Food Network star at 11-1 on that one. Rodriguez at 6-1. You had mentioned that question. And then Hill Road. Todd's the first person I've heard a pretty good case be made for Hill Road.
Right. Coming
out of the post, the one spot right on the rail. So, maybe Baeza seems to be a good play if you're going to play a trifecta or a superfecta, to include Baeza in that. But when you only have 8 horses, Dave, this is what you said before. Like, there's not like the all button that you hit at the Derby.
It's not even an option,
right? It's not. This is not There's no bombs being thrown here from a ticket perspective, right?
I don't even think you can put it with like if you use like 267 with 267 with all.
Okay.
You could get buried if one. I mean, I wouldn't even put it in third. So, yeah, this isn't the price race. The price race is the Derby because there's so much money in that pot, and then maybe you can catch something in a Preakness, but not usually. And then this one is usually chalk. So, yeah, man, that was good to see. That was good to see, Todd. Have you ever been to Santa Anita?
No, I've only been to Rockingham
Delmar.
Park. I've been to Rockingham Park. I've been to Exarban, and I've been to Delmar. Those are the horse tracks that I've been to that are even like of any real size, like of any real like having a lot of tracks. So no, I've never been to Santa Anita. I've heard amazing things about it.
It's so scenic, very different from Delmar. So
Okay.
I don't want to say. I mean, like again, you started up in the penthouse with Delmar. So
Right.
but Santa Anita is really, really nice. Like, I mean, Todd did it justice. The scenery, the mountain range, the way it comes, you watch the track. It's really nice. And I can't believe he said it'll be less than 2,000 people there today. So that's the problem with the horse racing. We got guys that are into it. We got guys that aren't. Thank you guys for, indulging us and having the discussion. You don't have to bet it. Don't have to even watch it. But that was a topic that we thought was the right time, obviously, to have Todd on. So
I'm excited to watch it.
That,
Yeah,
I'm excited to watch it too.
I think it's going to be a really, again, the fact that we have a race in which journalism has run both. Now this will be the third race in the Crown, and Sovereignty not. As Todd said, this does kind of answer the question that if journalism wins, we'll stop talking about the schedule, because frankly, the schedule, baseball is about its records, right? 162 games, and the fact that we have some records that were made with less games played versus 162 games played. What does that do for the home run record? We had the Babe Ruth versus, Barry Bonds conversation going on about home runs, and Roger Maris versus Babe Ruth and that whole thing. So like, this is, if you change the schedule, you change what the previous great horses went through. If you make it easier for the horses, well, I mean, Secretariat, we talk about the margin at the Belmont and everyone, that famous picture coming down the stretch where, the Belmont, everyone's like half a mile back.
Yep.
Yeah. They're like in a different zip code, right? In the Belmont because of the Secretariat. So if we have a change to the schedule, well, okay, then the next time we have a Triple Crown winner, there's kind of an asterisk there. It's like, okay, you won the Triple Crown, but you didn't do it in the schedule that all these other great horses had to go through. Right. So I'm not down with changing the schedule. Leave it as is. We don't need to move everything in sports.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they're going to.
I hope they don't.
Again, yes, it's a bigger buzz in the sports world when you have an opportunity to get a Triple Crown winner. But I don't know. Horse guys, if you're in the chat, type your horse who you think is going to win that race tomorrow. I don't know. I really don't know.
Did you know that Exarban is Nebraska spelled backwards?
Escarban, the track was called Escarban because it was. No, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, Exarban is it's just Nebraska spelled backwards.
That's the name of the track.
Yeah.
Boy, somebody had fun with that. Right?
It's a good track. I mean, it's where Nebraska has their only gambling.
Right.
Exarban.
Harness racing, or is it thoroughbreds?
Thoroughbreds, but I wouldn't call it thoroughbreds. It's like horses.
Well, yeah. Okay. No, that's it. Right. Yeah. But it's not buggies. They don't have.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, not when I was. I mean, maybe they have it now, but when I was there, no. They had it was there to keep their license. They had to run 2 weeks out of the year, so they had the meet for 2 weeks where they had live racing.
Oh, it's like the track in Kentucky at Kentucky Oaks where we were for Circa.
Yeah. And by the way, congrats to them about the announcement that they're going to open that book that they had told us during the live show.
Yeah.
From the Mint, that is going to open up this summer, which is the biggest book east of the Mississippi.
Yep.
Circa Sports Light is what they're calling it. Circa Sports East Coast is what they're calling it in Kentucky. So they made that announcement yesterday that is on track to be unveiled this summer in Kentucky.
Yeah, that's going to be guys are going to get a kick out of that, anywhere close, because I mean the viewing experience in a book like that is still very, very different than just regular stuff. So
Completely.
I think people will get a viewing experience there that they'll be like, wow, this is really cool, and maybe take an opportunity to come out to Vegas and again either sign up for contests or just come out. Circa's running all kind of things for the summer, discounted rooms and different things. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but yeah, that's going to be I don't want to say a game changer, but it's going to add something for that area that they don't have.
Yeah, I would agree wholeheartedly on that. I want to go back to the Pacers because we kind of got cut short there a little bit on game one for last night and give them their just due. These odds, Tyler Smith, who covers the Pacers for a couple different outlets in Indiana, the Pacers now have a win in every round with this probability: 0.3%, 2.1%, 4.1%, and 2.6%. We talked about it.
Makes sense.
We talked about it before about the games in all four rounds in which they had those win percentage. The odds of them winning all four of those games, 1 in 1.5 million. The fact that they would win outright those four games in the first, second, third, and fourth rounds of the NBA championship, when they had those win percentages, that parlay is 1.15 million. 1 in 1.5 million chances to win this.
Really makes you, when you say it like that, appreciate the complete absurdity that they won every one of them. You can win 3 or 4, maybe half. They won them all. So I don't know. You asked that in the Team of Destiny right there. You buying it?
Look, this has been the year of the chalk, right? It wouldn't shock me at all if we had a crazy outcome and the Indiana Pacers win the NBA championship out of nowhere, because we haven't had one of those yet. We haven't had a story of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this team won a championship. The Dodgers won the World Series. That was predictable. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. That was somewhat predictable. Like, we haven't seen an, oh my gosh, the Panthers won the Stanley Cup. Like, these are teams that we were expecting to be there. Ohio State winning it all, right? Indiana, the Pacers winning the NBA championship after the Thunder, Celtics, and Cavaliers were odds on like monster favorites all year.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. I mean, I said it. I thought it was going to be over fast. I thought in the first quarter, it all played out exactly how I thought it would. The building was electric. The play was great. And I thought that the Pacers looked nervous in the first quarter. I thought they were turning the basketball over like crazy. Obi Toppin had like 6 turnovers in the first half. They stopped turning the ball over. And I kept on seeing people tweet this, and it was true. They're like, how is this only a 5-point game? How is this only a 6-point game? Like, the way the Thunder played in the first half versus the way that the Pacers played in the first half, it should have been a 20-point lead. I mean, they had 14 turnovers, I think, in the first half. The Pacers did. So
I said it to Wetzel because we were still on. I said, Indiana, if you'd have told them they would be right here with, what were they down? 11 at halftime?
Yes.
I think.
Yep.
With the way they played, the number of turnovers, I said, watch, they're going to stay right now. That 11 and a half or 12 and a half was the number. I said, that's got to be the side. I think they can play them even and stay within this number. Any sort of fix it, they're going to make it closer. Did I think they were going to win it? No.
No, I didn't.
With
All the
3
way to the
minutes left,
end.
I didn't think they were going to win it.
Yeah.
No way.
With the final possession, I wasn't sure they were going to win it. I mean, I thought there was going to be a missed shot. I was like, okay, the defense will rise up here. They let Halliburton shoot it. Like, I couldn't believe they let him get to his spot. Like, what are we doing? Can't let him get to that spot. Can't let him get right there and put that in. That was like, I was stunned at that. And then I thought it was interesting, the comments that were being made.
Here. Hold on. Ready? Go ahead.
Well, you got Caruso playing in the series. So,
yep.
I thought it was interesting that the broadcast crew was having a conversation about the fact that the Thunder swapped out their starting rotation. They made a change in their starting rotation. And so it was like before the game even started, the Thunder were changing what they were doing by taking and bringing off Hartenstein off the bench versus having him start like he normally had done. So like that was already like a mental win for the Pacers, that the Thunder had to change what they were doing because of the way Indiana was playing. Was it interesting? I thought that was kind of an interesting point, going like, maybe there's a little bit of a panic going on at the moment with the Thunder because they weren't exactly sure how to attack this Pacers team. And Rick Carlisle, he's a really good coach. I mean, it's the one place where I thought there was the advantage was in the coaching situation. And I thought last night played it out.
The Pacers committed 18 more turnovers than OKC. That's the largest difference for a playoff game winner since 1971.
Wow. And they won that game.
Hat tip to ESPN. I just saw it scroll across the bar.
Here's the thing. If you're a Pacer fan, here's the thing. You didn't play that well.
And won.
Yeah. Like, you can play a lot better than that. That wasn't your A game. You didn't give the Thunder your A game and won by one. You gave them your C+ game and won. Like, if I'm in that locker room, I'm going, boys, we played like crap. We're going to play so much better in game 2. Like, we can go home up 2-0 like we were on the Knicks. We can go home and play game 3 at home in our place up 2-0.
You really think they can win?
Yes, I think they can. I think they're going to. I'm not betting it, though. There's no way I'm laying 11 points with the Thunder. No way. That's an unbettable number. I want no point. I want no part of that. But I'm not going to be stunned at all, given we've already seen it. In the playoffs, we've seen the team heavily favored. Boston was a $9 favorite on the Knicks, and they lost both games 1 and 2 at home. $750 favorites for the Thunder. They've lost game 1. Let's see if they lose. They win. They lose game 2. It's on play. It's on par. Ian,
I don't think there's a chance in hell they lose.
I don't think that was a C game, but that was a D game for them. That was one of the worst games they played all year. Thunder were awful in that game. I thought they were sped up. I thought they did not make good decisions. They missed shots they hit all the time. They looked nervous, way more nervous than the Pacers did. As that game got on.
And they had the lead.
Yeah.
Like, playing nervous with the lead is different than having to chase and come back because you're down 10 and whatever. Like,
well, I thought the referees made a pretty interesting decision early in the game by saying, we're not calling anything. Like, the first quarter was an absolute football game. Like, they killed each other. And the Pacers had been playing like that against the Knicks. So they were used to it. They were good to it. I thought the Thunder were completely taken aback by the physicality of the game. And they kept on looking at the referees going, what are you doing? You're going to call this? And the refs are like, play on. So, like, I think this is very interesting to look at this and to say, okay, I'm really curious because, again, I think man v man, the Thunder are the better team. So the way you do that, the way you even it up in basketball is the referees let you play. And if you can grab and hold and move guys and not get called for it, that's a big equalizer.
Yeah.
Eastern Conference basketball versus Western Conference basketball. That was the Thunder looked scared at times last night. I was really surprised at that. So
all of that being said, the Thunder winning game 2.
Do they cover? You lay 11?
It gives you pause. No.
It's a lot of points.
Again, I don't think you need to. There'll be opportunity to not. Although yesterday you didn't have too many opportunities to lay less than 9.5. You know, it was 12, 13, 14, 12, got down to 10. Yep. You know, there was a quick period where maybe 6.5, you know, you could lay with OKC.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're not going to be, we'll be back on Monday. So we'll know when we come back on Monday, boys and girls in the chat. What's the series? Is it 2-0 Indiana or is it 1-1? It's 1-1.
It's 1-1. Yeah. We're about 15 minutes away from Roll Call Friday, guys. So just stick around. And if you're waiting on Roll Call Friday, don't worry. We'll get to it here in just 1 second. Game 2 tonight of the Stanley Cup Final. Florida at Edmonton. This number's all over the place. Some books had Florida plus. I got plus money on Florida last night. That's kind of evened up now. Edmonton's small favorite here in game number 2. You heard Ian McMillan before we talked to Todd talk about rinse and repeat from a total perspective. Wide open hockey. Are we getting that tonight?
I don't know. My first thought is no. I think Florida gets that. If they get a lead again, they're not going to do what they did.
Yeah.
But the way that they, like Ian called it, counterpunching, there's nobody going into a shell. There's up or down. So knowing that, if I can go under, like if there's quick goals and I can go under 7.5, I feel a lot better. My first thought is always under, but I'm paused. I really don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not touching the total in this game. And I'm basically betting 2 plays with Bobrovsky on the mind that I think he's going to be much better tonight. And I expect the defense.
Bobrovsky was great though.
He was great, but he gave up 4 goals. I think he gives up 2 tonight.
Oh.
So I don't think he's giving up 4.
We're going to keep Edmonton to 2?
Yes. They have to.
Yeah.
They're not going to win a 4-3 game on the road. Like I don't think they want to get into that style, that high scoring, high flying type of game. Now, power plays obviously have a lot to do with that. And as the series goes, I do expect to see less power plays getting called. I think we said it yesterday, right? There were 6 called in the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll get 6 again on this, but like I'm betting this like a 3-2 win for the Panthers tonight.
Okay.
So like that's my thought. And we might get an open net. It might be 4-2. That's how we get to 6. But if I got a 6.5, I would bet under. I would go under 6.5 tonight.
Yeah, right now it's painted 6.5.
Yeah,
I don't see a book anymore that has a 6.
So everyone betting over, and again, like last night, when everyone's thinking one way, I tend to want to go the other way. And I think just because everyone's saying there's no way these 2 teams play, they've played 3 times this year. All 3 games have gone way over. So over 6. It's been 5-4, 4-3, 4-3.
Yeah.
So do these guys have the ability to play a game, a 3-2 game? I don't know. But if Bobrovsky is how I think Bobrovsky is going to be tonight, that's how Florida wins.
I feel like a dodo bird when I you have 3 games head to head and they all went over and you bet under.
Right.
And then it goes over and you're like, what am I, an idiot?
Right.
Why did I do that?
Right.
You question yourself. But I'm thinking, yes, tonight could be the under game. Again, I can't wait to watch it. If Bennett does anything, he's going to really move up in that Conn Smythe. If Florida can win, take it back to Florida, tied 1-1, I still think they win game 3, again, regardless of what happens. If they win tonight and then win game 3, they obviously become a small favorite in the series. Doesn't mean they're going to win it. I think they split in Edmonton, split in Florida, and then we got a 3-game series for it all. It's going to be great. St. Louis Ray asked if there's a shots on goal prop. There is in certain books. There's a save prop in other books. So number of saves for each goalie is available, as well as shots on goal. I think it's like probably 30 or 32 or something like that for each team, somewhere in that number.
Hold the thought on that. We've got that in Better to Book It with our prop bet of the day. Florida money line starts us off here for this. I think the Panthers even it up 1 game apiece. Better to Book It tonight.
Florida Panthers.
Yes.
Okay. Not the Florida Marlins. Miami Marlins, yeah.
No.
I say this is a bet. Selfishly, I'm rooting for more hockey, more games, more everything. You're frozen. Hold on. There you go. You're back. Yes, bet.
I'm really excited to watch this game tonight.
Yeah.
Like I got Red Sox Yankees to watch as well, so I'm psyched to watch that. but
Are you
I got.
excited to watch that though?
Oh yeah,
think
I
you
love
were
hate
one of our
watching the Yankees.
favorites.
Oh come on,
Okay, okay,
I
that's
love hate watching the Yankees. It's
All
so fun to do that, but it is going to be a really fun hockey game. I mean, the basketball game almost felt like a shocker. Like it actually stunned me that the game was so good. I thought the game was going to suck, and after the first quarter, I was like, okay, this game's going to go exactly how I thought this was going to go. And then, nope. Second half was much different. Fourth quarter was much different. I mean, heck, with 9.5 to play the game, it was a 15-point lead. And nope. Panthers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the Pacers come back.
I got away from it. After I got off the air, I was so locked in on the Women's College World Series. I stopped watching the basketball and then just caught the end.
More on that in a second. Baseball for tonight. Little 3-leg parlay for you.
Okay.
Mets run line.
That's winning.
Rockies.
Against
Phillies run line.
Against the Pirates.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, you can do Royals run line if you want. If you buy this new look lineup with Castiglione, and as they've gone, because they've scored a ton of runs the last 3 games with him in the lineup, they won 2 out of the 3, scored 10 runs in 1 game, which is almost like a month's worth for the Royals offense, but I don't trust it. So I'm just going to go Royals money line here tonight, not go Royals run line here tonight. It's a plus 390 parlay.
I like the Royals, not just because JC from KC's here, but I like the Royals tonight. I like the Mets tonight, and the run line is fine. I don't like the Phillies on the run line.
Okay.
They're using a bullpen game. So Ross is through the order once, if lucky, and then they're just going to put it together. Wheeler's on paternity leave, so they push back starts. Falter pitched well.
He's been good.
Phillies, yep.
But you guys are 0-3 against them straight up.
I know.
And you're 1-2 against them. You're 1-2 on the run line against them.
It's fine. I already know all this. Thank you. I have a couple baseball games for you after. I was going to suggest using the Yankees in this there instead of the Phillies.
No,
but that would have worked better for me. So I'll say book this because I don't think it gets there.
Obviously, Will Warren. You want Will Warren for the Yankees tonight at Fenway Park? Will Warren went 1 1/3 innings, gave up 7 earned his last start.
Over. Yankees and Red Sox are going over.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay.
That's an
fine.
over.
Yeah. First 5 over. Yeah. I like first 5 over. Keep betting first 5 over Red Sox.
Yeah.
Like that's just, we're going to get offense tonight. Walker Buehler can't get anybody out either. Will Warren can't get anybody out. Like neither starting pitcher is worth anything for tonight's game.
Right.
9. It's 8.5 for some reason. I have no idea why. Seems to be way too low.
Don't know.
That should be higher than it is. What's the other bet? What's the other bet?
My 2 sides today are San Diego, Milwaukee. I'm taking Milwaukee against San Diego. Small favorite, minus 140 right now.
Patrick's been decent though for the Brewers.
Milwaukee,
3-4, 2.97 ERA.
Yep.
They've won 3 last 2 starts, 3 of his last 5. Yeah, not bad. Home team, sure. Padres are not that great on the road. They're 15-16 on the road.
Yep.
Don't hate that. They've lost 2 games in a row though. The Padres, so you got to bet the streak. Randy Vasquez is okay for them. Yeah, all right. Brewers, I like that. Sure, bet that.
Another one. There's 3 total. The Dodgers against the Cardinals. Sonny Gray at home. Very short favorite. Very rare do you get the Dodgers plus money. I got the Cardinals. You're going to tell me you take the Dodgers plus money every time they give it to you, right?
No, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Oh,
I think the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers at home every time plus money.
Well, yeah,
not on the road.
Season. Okay.
Not the Dodgers on the road. No, and not with they're starting some Roboleski kid. No way.
Okay.
On the road, he has 1 road start. He went 5 innings, gave up 8 earned runs to Washington. No thanks.
And then the other one is Seattle on the road against the Angels. Kyle Hendricks at home against Brad Miller. I think it's Brad Miller.
Give me Seattle.
Is that it? You want Seattle in that spot?
I would take Seattle in that spot. Yeah. Angels are 10-15 at home. Mariners are 16-12 on the road. Bryce Miller going for Seattle. Kyle Hendricks. Seattle's 2-0 this year against the Angels, 9-3, 5-3, 2-0 on the run line for Seattle.
It's Bryce Miller. My bad. Yeah, I said Brad.
Yep.
Sorry. I got the Angels.
Okay.
I think
I'll
the
take the
Angels
Mariners.
plus money. Yeah. So
I
those are
can't-
my
I,
games.
I think the Angels are garbage.
Yeah, not good. They'll hit
How-
home runs and
How the Red Sox almost got swept by them is unbelievable.
yeah.
It's just-
Yeah.
it's so not
All right.
so not where they need to be. But back to hockey for a second. As I mentioned, I'm riding on Bob here for what I think will happen tonight for the hockey game. I bet it in game 1. I'm betting it in game 2. Over 25.5 saves. The books adjusted up 1. FanDuel has thrown a little bit of a wrench into this market. FanDuel now is doing saves in regulation, which I think is a little bit, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
because if you don't catch it and you bet it and he winds up with 24 and he goes to overtime and he gets 26, you lose.
Yep.
So careful betting this. Make sure you're betting it, including overtime.
Check the rules. Check the house rules because that will get you. Obviously, you want to bet it somewhere where overtime is
Overtime's
included.
included. Because OT
you have
tonight
to-
is very possible.
Correct. Yes.
So,
So
right. They don't
yeah.
even, right. FanDuel doesn't even give you an option for overtime. Right. They're
Thank
just
you,
saying-
Ish.
Yeah, they're going, nope.
165. Yeah.
So
That
not-
kind of
not
stinks.
great.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's a book's defense is to change
I
the
mean,
rules and change the
Bobrovsky-
bet. So
Bobrovsky hit over 40 in the first game, and he averaged 33.3 saves per game in the regular season. That was number 2 in the NHL.
yeah,
I think he gets peppered tonight, but I think he plays really well.
if the style of play is anything close to what it was in game 1, this should be over halfway through the first period or halfway through the third period. Right? He's gonna face 30 shots. He's not giving up 5 goals. So you should be fine with this. This is probably a decent bet. Bob is short for Bobrovsky.
Yes.
You did
Sorry.
that. That's all right. We just
Yes,
assumed that.
But saves. I mean, it's
Yes.
something we're not playing soccer here, so it's like
Yeah, that's fine.
only one save market going on. So
Yeah.
Bob over 25.5. It was 24.5 in game 1. It flew over. It's up by 1 save, 25.5, which is still lower than a season average of 33.3. College World Series, Women's College World Series, game 3 tonight. National championship on the line between Texas Tech and Texas. Who wins?
I think Texas Tech wins again. She pitched an unbelievable game again yesterday.
4-3 final yesterday for Texas
They
Tech.
almost gave it away.
2 runs in the top of the 7th or 9th. Which one was it?
Unreal 7th. They only play
7th.
7. Yep. Incredible. Just another like this is. I mean, they paid her $1 million, and Kennedy is defying everything about it. And it's fun to see Patrick Mahomes there. He went and bought him all kind of merch, and he went to the game. He's there. That'll be a really hype environment. It'll be very good for softball. And then over the weekend, they're going to do that Athletes Unlimited Softball League is on MLB Network. So they'll be in Rosemont, Illinois. It's going to be
It's
good.
on MSG too.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's
I
on-
know it's on MLB Network.
Yep. It's on a bunch of
Uh,
places. They
yeah,
have a
so-
bunch of different outlets to air it coming up. But when was the last time Texas Tech won a national championship?
Never.
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 They've never won a championship. Wow.
Nope.
In any sport.
Oh, I don't know. I just
Never
know
in
it's
softball.
Yeah, right.
Because Mahomes lives in Dallas still, right? That's where he lives full time.
Don't know.
I think he lives in Dallas. That's why he can make the quick drive up to OKC
Okay.
to watch that. So that's why he's always at Maverick games. He's a Maverick season ticket holder
Okay.
because he lives in Dallas.
All right.
So
Well, it will be something if you're not watching stuff. I recommend at least putting it on and just taking in the atmosphere because it's the final game, long season, 2 really good teams. Both will be first-time winners in this. It's going to be a fun sporting event. And again, Texas Tech is a small favorite. I think they win.
what's the total? 7, 5? What's the total?
They haven't put a total up here. All Women's College World Series sides. Only.
Really?
Yeah. Sides only.
Why is that?
Nobody knows how to make the number.
Okay.
I mean, I'd make it 5.
Okay.
Wetzel asked me that yesterday. I said that I don't see a total anywhere. Do you see a total where he didn't have a total up where he was? I'd make it 5. Finals 3-2. That's Arctic. There's somebody sees one. Arctic right there in the chat. 5.5 juice minus 130 to the under. That's a good number. 5 is the number. So if you want to make it off of the whole number, you make it 5.5 juice to the under 130. That's good.
When did Texas Tech win the national championship in men's basketball? Whew, 60s?
Wow.
That must have been a long time ago in Texas.
Thank you for that, Ish. Look at that.
Men's basketball and 2 in track, 1 in men's and 1 in women's. That's it. Yeah, offshore. Okay, thanks, guys.
Oh, Mr. Wobble has it. Yeah.
So it's offshore if you guys want to go and find it. More football because we can't get enough of one Mr. Aaron Rodgers. The Brigade Proxy Service NFL story of the day, one Mr. Aaron Rodgers. It's official. He has been signed to be a Pittsburgh Steelers, and the team, we put it up earlier, the team is not being shy with the accolades to put them up here for Aaron Rodgers. His career passer rating, 503 career passing touchdowns, over 62,000 yards passing, 4-time AP first team All-Pro, 4-time NFL MVP, 10-time Pro Bowler. Well, if you guys are going to make it quiet, Dave, somebody forgot to tell the people in the social media department about Aaron Rodgers coming in. There's a lot of hype being thrown at this guy already.
Between last year and them signing Russell Wilson and bringing him in, the offseason, going and getting DK Metcalf and paying him an exorbitant amount of money and making a trade, and then doing this and pushing it out, I don't even know who this is anymore. This is totally different. I mean, and not that it's bad, and not that it's good. It's just different. I'm okay with it. I saw the hype video this morning. I retweeted it myself. I said, "Wow, we have a here we go video." Okay. Nothing moved. The odds to make the playoffs didn't move. The odds to win the Super Bowl didn't move. They're still the third best team in the division, without question. I looked at the schedule again this morning, getting ready for the show. Week 10, they play at the Chargers.
Right.
They may win one game after that.
Yep.
Maybe one.
Yep.
That. I hope it works out. I hope it works out one way or the other. Either he gets hurt, doesn't play much, and then it just goes bad. They go, 4-13 and end up on the bottom, and now he can do something. Or it works out great. He plays the majority of the games, and they somehow win 10 games and are in the discussion and actually play a wild card game. They're not winning a division.
No,
not
winning the division. But
no way.
Does it change the pressure on Tomlin? Does it make it, if you're doing all of this and you're deciding to push this out and talk about him in this way, is the bar raised as to, well, last year he didn't have a quarterback and that's why it was sort of a down season. And so now you're giving him Aaron Rodgers and giving him DK Metcalf. If the team isn't in the playoffs or isn't among the upper echelon of the AFC, is this it for Tomlin?
I think the noise is going to get real.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the noise is going to get real. It's like, all right, look, we did this.
We gave you the shot.
Right. And it went really sideways. Yeah. I think the actual, the noise is real from outside the offices. I think the noise gets real inside the offices if it goes bad.
Because there's no clear successor at the moment.
No.
As to who's.
There still hasn't been.
Yeah, they need to start to
Since
at least
Roethlisberger, there hasn't been.
Start to have that conversation about not just the quarterback, I mean the head coach. Yeah, it does feel that way, Nikki, that Rodgers and Tomlin both would go out together.
Ooh.
If it didn't work. If it works, to bring them both back.
Well, last year, the Jets fired their coach in the middle of the season.
Yep. You guys would never. That is the most un-Steeler thing ever.
Yeah.
To fire Tomlin mid-season. There's no way. There's no way. You're not firing Mike Tomlin mid-year.
No.
It would be after the season's over.
Right.
So they would go out. They would go out together.
Yep.
All right, guys, we have hit that part of the week where you guys get to be recognized. It's time for Roll Call Friday. Dave, take it away.
3-digit area code, boys and girls. Type it up right there. Just for an example, who's that first one in there? Let me see. There's one snap on. Be very simple. 519 Windsor, Ontario. Thank you. Oh, Canada. And go Oilers. I'm surprised you didn't type that, Bombi.
Right?
Right? You got one in, and you got home game number 2. So good luck with that. There's Stevie Fish. Got to see Fish in town over the weekend. It was great to see him. Give him a big hug. 313 Livonia, Michigan, mid-70s here. Only been 4 days, and man, do I miss Vegas. Great to see you last weekend, Dave. Hashtag Brigade Proxy Service, 3 years running for me. Thank you again for being here. We can, get that taken care of. Text the text line 702-570-8255 is the text number. Send us a text. Don't call it if you don't, because it goes, to voicemail. But that's how you get in touch with us. Thank you again. Good seeing you, Fish. And Tigers Cubs, my favorite thing about today. I'll save that for the end.
Yeah.
PB 942, Venice, Florida, 87 degrees, sunny, hot and humid. Happy old-fashioned Friday. You know that. You and Fran will be hanging out somewhere at the Senior Citizen Special with that old-fashioned. Good luck on the Belmont. Go Pats. Always go Pats for PB. CBW 315 Oswego, New York, finally looking at a non-wet weekend. First one since November 16th, 17th. It's rained every weekend in Syracuse, Oswego.
That can't be
Lord.
true. That's horrible. That's true.
Oh, that's tough living. That's what they do up there.
Yikes.
Yeah. Alan Spintana, 507 Mankato, Minnesota. Also the reason for the high scores with the A's is bad pitching, and they play in a AAA stadium in Sacramento. Watch for the overs, Brigade. Thank you, Alan. It's been a recurring theme. The A's are playing Baltimore tonight, who's rolling, and Baltimore's only minus 125. Probably a play. Put that on the list, too. JC from KC, 216 Cleveland, Ohio, 74 degrees. Small sample size, but the Royals have scored 5+ runs in 3 straight games for the first time all year, and started when Cags got brought up. Coincidence? Time to bully the Sox. Go get him, JC from KC. That's probably a
Just win the game.
nice weekend.
Just win the game. See, I love when we go from like JC from KC right into the other 610. Just like
610.
Real quick, real simple. Boom.
Seth Millay.
Right to it. So
yes, keep it simple. Love that. Fish Killer 73, 540 Roanoke, Virginia, 87 degrees. San Francisco Giants money line plus 125. Bet it. Happy Friday, Matt, Dave, and all the Brigade. Happy Friday to you too, Fish Killer 73. Joe TFP, which stands for Joe the Fat Panda, 303 Denver, Colorado. Mini Panda second T-ball game is the weekend. Have a safe and good weekend. Shout out to Mini Panda and their squad. Get it done. Oh, 610 is Bangor, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Seth. Appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you for coming out and getting in Roll Call Friday.
Interesting.
Huh?
JPC.
Oh, JPC the 4th with a 10 spot. Thank you again very much with the super chat. We appreciate all of those. 313, like JC said, the stinger froze at the start. Cough, cough. Positive vibes and enjoy the weekend. Oh, you know what stinger he's talking about.
But did it really freeze? Is that true?
Try it again. Hit it again.
Oh.
Hit it. Did not freeze.
Didn't freeze from my ears.
It didn't freeze. No, we just had to make sure that it worked again because they love it once. They really love it twice.
Okay, so we're going just to be clear. I didn't think it froze the first time.
Oh yeah, no. If you can get a 2-banger, they always want the 2-banger. Tyrone Boyd, what's up, brother? 202 Tyrone. Congrats, Matt. Knicks and Steelers have made your year.
Steelers haven't made my year. The Knicks made my year. I don't hate the Steelers. I hate the Knicks.
Right. Who are they going to get as the coach? Somebody was in the chat and said they're talking to Jalen Rose.
No, they're talking to Jason Kidd. That's who they want.
Oh.
But the Mavericks are saying go fly a kite.
Yeah, somebody said Jalen Rose. I don't think that's going to happen.
I please hire Jalen Rose. It would be phenomenal.
Come on. Can't be real. Can't be real. No way.
Oh, that'd be too good. Please hire Jalen Rose.
Rosie 415, San Francisco, California. Long time no see, fellas. The Giants are dead, but we are back. Have a great weekend, Brigade. You do the same, Rosie. Thank you for being here. Sonic the Wrench 602 Phoenix. I am mobile for a bit. Happy Roll Call Friday, Brigade. A good weekend to Matt and Dave. Good weekend to you too, sir. Thank you for all the work you do here on the show and live with the Wrench.
Amen.
Vince Kowinski, Vinny 260 Fort Wayne Little League District Tourney starts this weekend. Let's go. Get it done, boys.
Let's go.
Get it done. Field the ball. Play defense. Limit those giveaway outs. Francisco Ochoa, 951 Hemet, California. Kids school out. Summer begins.
Yeah,
Baby.
That's a great
It's
feeling.
happening for a lot of people this week
Yeah.
and next week. It's happened for us we've been 2 weeks
Month.
into it.
Feels like a month.
It feels like a month. It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Steven Chavez, good to see you, sir. Made it to Roll Call Friday from the 626 in Covina, California. Go Dodgers and Oilers in 6.
Oh.
Thank you guys for the shows. Really helps me get through my days. We appreciate you being here, Steven. We're glad to help out. And thank you for popping in here. Santana, 928 Yuma, Arizona. Enjoy the weekend. LA Dodgers are minus 575 right now to win the NL West. Thank you, Santana, for your work here and for watching and enjoying the show. There's the Shrew, 916. Go West Sacramento A's. Good luck. Enjoy.
Yeah. Kind of a tough summer for you guys.
Yeah. 215 Philly Burbs for Jim Montgomery. Let's go, Phils. Get off the schneid, 86 and humid. Yeah, probably 2 or 3 this weekend for you guys, for the Phillies.
Bust out tonight. Let's go.
Rob L, 517 Fowlerville, Michigan. Poured the Eagle Rare already.
Whiskey.
Oh, hello.
Let's go.
All right, have a little enjoy the rest of the evening there, Rob. That's good.
I mean, the guys, we're really like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna
What? Mr. Wobble, $5. I didn't hear that one. You didn't hear what? You
again.
didn't hear what?
I'm gonna
My
be
God.
deaf. I'm gonna be.
That's what you. I didn't know that. All right, that's what he
I'm gonna
wanted. Okay.
I'm gonna be deaf by the end
Well,
of the
everybody
show.
up with that. Holy crap! Yeah, nice work. My goodness.
My ears are like, what are you doing? You're making us bleed. Where are we? Here we are with Rob. Oh, we're there together.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's Blaze T1 248 Clarkston, Michigan. Haven't been able to join Roll Call Friday in a while. Well, thank you for being here. Happy Scooble Day, everybody. Damn right. Can't wait to see that. Tigers.
Hey, TPR, how are you?
TP, are you with me? Question mark 206 Seattle. Sunny. Have a great weekend, boys. You do the same. Thank you for being here.
Very
Sam Licata, 314 St. Louis. Boots on the ground. Otani watch tonight. Otani home run. Over in the game. Love the over, Sam. Do like the over. I'll have all those plays later with Wetzel on Sports Grid as well. Mikey Awesome with a fin. $5. Thank you very much. 757 ODU Brigadeville, Virginia. Youngest graduates tomorrow, and I'm making back down there come hell or high water. I heart the hashtag BVB Brigade. LFGO. Thank you, Mikey.
Congrats,
Get
Mikey.
that
That's
car
really
fixed,
cool.
brother. Get that car fixed. Congrats to little Mikey Awesome.
He'll push it if he has to
Yeah.
get back down there.
Absolutely. There's Nikki Ciramello. Hello, sir. 520 Tucson, Arizona, 95 degrees and sunny. Appreciate you guys in the brigade. Always forward, never straight. You have no idea, Nikki Ciramello. Always forward, never straight. Continuing to show up and keep going. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Absolutely, boys. Stay with us. You know, for the next couple weeks, a couple big announcements probably coming. You know, and then we'll figure out how we're going forward. Always forward, never straight. We'll see what happens. Chef B, 401 Rhode Island. Have an amazing weekend, Brigade. You do the same, Chef B. Appreciate you.
Hot there. New England's been 95 all
Oh,
week.
baby. A little sticky.
Yesterday was freezing. It was like 81 degrees here yesterday. It was chilly. It was bizarre.
Yeah, this house is absolutely ice cold. You can't even imagine. I don't even know what we're doing here. K, bro, 617 Boston, 82 and sunny. Let's see Marchie get another cup.
I don't. It's such an interesting look. Like Marchand, people living through. It worked for Ray Bork for me. I was totally into it and down with it. And Ray Bork likes to take claim that when he brought the cup back to the Boston City Hall Plaza to celebrate, because he didn't want to do it and he didn't want to bring it back. He claims that he turned the tide for Boston championships because they've won 13 championships since he did that. I can't fully embrace this whole Marchand Florida Cup thing. like, I don't really want to see it. I'm cool with it, but I'm not like cheering for it.
Right.
So,
Well, here's my buddy Tim Campbell. Good to see you, sir. 814 Central Pennsylvania. Sunny. Had dinner with our boy V last night. Happy Roll Call Friday. V was my college roommate
nice.
for 2 years at Penn State. Really, really a good dude. So shout out to you guys and Tom Foley. God bless. Hopefully he's doing better. He's going through some stuff as well. So just shout him out. Thank you, Tim, for being here. Football Guy 97, 717, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Can't wait for hockey tonight. Have a great weekend, Brigade. You do the same. Football Guy 97, thank you. Arctic 402, Omaha, Nebraska. Supers already going well. University of North Carolina -1.5, scores 18-2. That's always a nice, relaxing win. They call it a cigar game when you can light the cigar and just relax. Yep. Deuce Daly, good to see you. The dog with the BVB hat on, 978, Lowell, Massachusetts. Thank you for being here, Deuce. Leanest Crimmage, 705, Orillia, Ontario, 22 degrees Celsius. Translates to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Very nice day. CFL is back, baby. Hamilton money line tomorrow in Calgary and over. Go Oilers.
Really? We're already back into that time of the year, huh?
Yes,
oh boy.
sir.
Oh boy.
Chicago, John 312 Chicago. Been a while since been able to join Roll Call Friday. Just left the office. It's sunny and 80. Say hello to Chicago Krista for me, Chicago John. Thank you for being here, sir. Nice Brandon Rincon, 310 Culver City, California. Get ready for summer. It's going to be a hot one on the west. We know it's coming.
Is it really? Is that being predicted?
Yep.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, be good. You'll be getting out of Dodge. That'll be good for you. It's going to be really, really hot here. Mr. Robble, 651, Lakeville, Minnesota. Can't wait to watch some good hockey and then go clean up the poker tables later tonight. May everyone cash all their bets this weekend. Mr. Wobble, will you enjoy that up in Lakeville, Minnesota? Thank you. Joe C. Myers, 913 Leavenworth, Kansas, home at one point in time of Michael Vick as a guest of the federal government. Oh, nice work.
Guest of the federal government.
Ross Randall, 603 Hampton, New Hampshire, 80 and scattered T-storms. I'm getting ready to start sacrificing to the weather gods and the boat gods because I'm getting sick and tired of all this damn rain. That's happening.
Yeah, get out of the way, please, before I get there.
Yep. Ish 165. He's in 219 Northwest Indiana. Beautiful weekend ahead of us here. Also, Sox winning the World Series soon after Jerry officially sells the team. I'm delusional. Yes, you are.
Maybe.
It's going to be a while.
But it could be. Let's see.
Jimmy Football, good to see you, sir. 416 Toronto, 21 degrees Celsius, which is 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Efforting to get a Circa Survivor team together. Excellent.
15 million.
That'll be,
a lot of money available for you.
Guaranteed, and they will go over that number.
Yep.
Eron Sean, 703 Centerville, Virginia, 85 degrees. Back from the pool with the kiddos. Watch Sports Grid with Matt and Dave almost every day. Thank you again. 100 worth it. You all are the best. We appreciate you watching, Eron, and tweeting, letting Sports Grid know that you're watching. That's important for both of us. Thank you.
Do. Thank you. That's great. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Amber Neri with you tomorrow. Ian Lights Out, 718, Brooklyn, New York, 78 and sunny. Heels beat Zona 18-2 in the Super Regional today. Save some for tomorrow, boys. There's always the caution, right? You always have to worry about that.
Scored too many.
St. Louis Ray, good to see you, sir. 314 St. Louis, light rain, 75 degrees. Isaac Rice looking good, 202. DC, always forward, never straight.
Good to see you, man.
I never got a tattoo, but I mean, if I was going to get one, I think I would get that on my body somewhere. Always forward, never straight.
Yep.
Chris S., Wayne, New Jersey, hot as hell, finally.
Yeah, right. It's been cold there.
T. Lowe, Tommy Lorenzo, 951, Southwest Riverside County, 78 days till college football kickoff.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yep.
Last 4, and then we'll go to bonus time.
Jay Treasy, 519, Ontario. Oilers in 4.
Sweep. Wow. Okay.
Oh, Kevin Whitrock, 319, Iowa City, 81 and sunny. Enjoying the first Friday of summer break with Little Whitrock. Going to be an awesome summer. Awesome. That is great stuff. Dave's Daily Picks Pod with sports betting tips. He's at 317, Lebanon, Indiana. Go Pacers. Very exciting.
Final tour in the state of Indiana.
Brendan Barber. 260 Fort Wayne, Indiana, breathing wildfire smoke. Well, don't do that.
Is there really wildfires there? Oh,
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but congrats to
joke.
your Pacers being up 1-0. It's a lot of fun. If you guys are with us live, bonus time, we'll have favorite thing about today. If you guys are on the replay crew, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. We're back on Monday for another BVB. The rest of you, bonus time now. Favorite thing about today is what?
Some really interesting baseball matchups today. Like Phillies Pirates was always a big deal when I lived in Pittsburgh. It's not that big of a deal now, but it means something. Dodgers Cardinals has some baseball history. That'll be fun. There's a couple other ones. San Diego Milwaukee is going to be a good weekend series. But my favorite thing about today, in addition to the softball being game 3 and being a decider, is Cubs and Tigers weekend series. I think it's the premier series of the weekend. And today's Scooble Day. He has 99 strikeouts on the season, 7 walks total on the season. He's pitching tonight. Game starts at 4:10 Pacific, 7:10 Eastern. I will 100% have it on. Cannot wait to watch it. Tigers are a really fun baseball team. The Cubs are too. Okay. I think Scooble wins today. I didn't even look at the pitching matchup yet tomorrow, but this is going to be a fun weekend series. If you like baseball, need something to watch, make sure you catch at least a game of that.
2 things. First, well, one favorite thing about today, and then one quick little commentary thing because we're in bonus time, so I can say it. Red Sox Yankees tonight. Mentioned whenever this comes around, it's Red Sox Yankees. So the Red Sox aren't very good. Yankees are better than the Red Sox, but not that much better than the Red Sox.
Yep.
It's always it's a fun watch. So I have hockey and I have baseball both tonight to watch. So I'm super excited for that tonight to kind of have a good sports night to chill out and to watch hopefully 2 good games. So we'll see what happens with that tonight. But I'm with you. Cubs and the Tigers will have my attention as well. Watching Scooble against that lineup for the Cubs also is going to be a ton of fun to watch. So we got hopefully. I mean, it stinks that tomorrow we have the Belmont at least, so it's exciting to talk about that. But like we should have a basketball game tomorrow. Like that's how it should go. It should go basketball, hockey. It's how it should go. The NBA screws everything up and decides to take it because game 3 of the Cup Finals is Monday,
correct,
or Tuesday, right?
Monday.
So we start all of that nonsense coming up with that. So, yeah, and you're right, Tommy. The Scooble at plus 375 to win the Cy Young does seem like a bargain with the way he's pitching. Yeah, it's basically a crochet or Tim. In a lot of ways as to how that's going to go. And Scooble's been on a better team and had a better year, frankly. So, coming up on this. So, want to say a quick thing about our business because I was tweeting back and forth with Michelle Beadle this morning, and Cody Decker's been on this show quite a bit. And I met Cody through you, and I have a lot of respect for them, their show, and what happened. And they were let go. They found out they were being let go when Stephen A. Smith went on the Howard Stern channel on Sirius XM to announce that he was taking his talents to Sirius for 2 shows. And to Sirius's credit, they allowed Cody and Michelle to go for 2 days and basically bashed the living shit out of Sirius XM on their own channel for the way that went. There are reports that that Stephen A. Smith went after that time slot because of his previous beef with Michelle Beadle at ESPN. And so that he came in and wanted that time slot. So if that's true and that happened, I don't like that at all, if that's how that went down for them. But it's just a reminder about how expendable we are here and why we started this show the way we started this show. And so we have control and we have the ability to do what we want, when we want it, and how we want it. And if this show ends ever, it's our choice and our decision to have the show end. And no one gets to come in and tap us on the shoulder and say, get out, and you're not here. But there is a right way and a wrong way of treating people. And I'm really disappointed in some of the things I've read this morning from industry scribes who have said that that's just business, that you're supposed to just suck it up and deal with it when you're mistreated and you're treated wrongly by employers, that somehow that's just okay. That like, sorry, sucks to be you, but you get found out that you're fired by somebody else making an announcement that your bosses don't come to you and tell you and say, hey, by the way, we're going to make a change. In other walks of life, that doesn't happen all that often. It does happen, but you'd be pissed off if it happened. And I feel like talent gets sort of like, fuck you. You get paid to talk for a living, so screw you. Well, that affects Michelle Beadle. It affects Cody Decker. Like, they've got bills to pay and they got families and they got things to worry about and things that they've got as real life situations. And to have your job be taken away publicly sucks. And we need to be better as a business, as an industry. Just treat your people better. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
Sucks.
We may get them on the show next week.
Kevin Cody on the show?
Yeah.
Please do. I would love to talk to him. I'll say it to him. I said it to Michelle today. I'll say it to him.
Yeah.
Said to Michelle on Twitter. I was like, look, and she's like, we had 2 good days of being able to say whatever we want. And she was excited. I mean, so I'm glad that Sirius gave them that chance. So oftentimes you don't get that chance.
Right.
To say goodbye. You just get yanked off the air. I've had that happen to me when they just walk in and, we all are in this business to get fired. Like, everyone is expendable in this business.
Crazy.
But there's just right way. There's a right way and a wrong way to treat people. And we know it. It's just a matter of whether or not somebody actually wants to abide by it, or it's just, you're gone. Oh, right. You found out because the guy who's replacing you made the announcement on the very satellite network channel you work for. Like, enjoy that. Like, that sucks. There's no other way. There's no other way around that. That doesn't feel good to lose your job publicly like that. And your boss is not the one to tell you that we're making this decision. Because how long did they know that for? They had to have known it for at least a week, at least a while. And they chose not to tell either Michelle or Cody. So
yeah,
blows. So my heart goes out to those guys. That's too bad. And yeah, there's always a place for either one of those, Cody or Michelle. Your door's always open to come here and vent and do whatever you got to do. So, but just treat people with respect. It's not hard. It's just not hard.
Yep.
In this business, it's like the hardest thing in the world, just to treat.
A lot of changes going on in a lot of places right now. A lot of people in flux and different things, and we're going to keep showing up best we can. It's just weird the way these things go down.
Yeah, happy to have this platform. Happy to have this show.
Very thankful.
We got shown the door, not as publicly as them, but we got shown the door and had a very similar conversation. And it sucks when that happens. That's it literally is a tuning fork that gets whacked and doesn't stop vibrating for years. You're just like constantly like, holy shit, what do I do next? So my thoughts go to those guys. Fellas, boys and girls, men and women, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Have a phenomenal weekend. We'll be back on a Monday to recap it and preview where we are for the rest of the Cup Finals and the NBA Finals. He's Dave. I'm Matt. We are back on Monday for a new episode of BBB.